Each news time, information is power. Be current, the news headline. We can't all sit on sidelines and allow people to destroy our nation. Professor Jega. The news in full. Former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, has said that Nigerians cannot sit on the fence and allow the nation, Nigeria, to keep destroying. Where Professor Jega, who stated this in a published interview, said that one of the major challenges that have brought us as a country to where we are is poor management of the country and our diversity. We have not utilized the benefit of having a federal system of government to be able to better manage this diversity. The bottom line is the character and disposition of those who find themselves in leadership positions. If we continue to allow a political electoral recruitment process that brings into the federal and local levels people who do not think or act beyond their parochial confines, then the challenges will continue. According to him, the fundamental starting point is to recognize that we are a diverse country, but we are all citizens of this country, and our duties, rights, and obligations are defined constitutionally, and also that everybody deserves the protection of the rights to religion and other citizenship rights of residents. If rights are protected, we will minimize fears and suspicion, and then get to relate with each other as citizens of a country. The ex-INEC chairman, who is presently a member of the People's Redemption Party, PRP, also said he believed that the PDP and APC are almost irredeemable, saying that they are marriages of convenience by the politically active elite, majority of whom focus on the actualization of self-serving objectives in elective positions. Many of them see participation in election as an investment. They engage in elections by hook or crook. Once they get into the governance process, obviously, they do their best to recoup their investment. I am not saying that everybody in APC and PDP is bad, but it is a bad tendency because political recruitment processes in this party are controlled by godfathers and moneybags and would only bring in people they know would do as directed. On whether INEC can play any role in improving internal party democracy by ensuring certain rules are in place, Professor Jega said, what INEC does or does not do is all a function of the legal framework under which it operates. We paid a lot of attention to electronic transmission of election results, to the more recent issue of direct primary, and what they are trying to do is to return to democracy into plutocracy, a government by the rich and for the rich. There are problems, but those problems must be solved if our country is to move forward. By doing our best, we would not only keep hope alive that things can change, but also serve as encouragement to our younger ones. But that doesn't mean that the abandonment of principles which are fundamental in whatever we do, he emphasized. To our leaders, we are tired of the worsening state of insecurity in the country. Every now and then, lives are lost, people are being unjustly killed like animals, and we demand the return of peace in our society. We are saying enough is enough, no more bloodshed. Out of school children figure is witnessing a massive rise of orphans everywhere. We can't travel in peace. The economy is crumbling. People are burnt while traveling. The protesters marched from Audu Bako Secretariat to the Kano government house, where security operatives received the group of protesters, listened to them and promised to take the matter further to the appropriate quarters. Meanwhile, following the recent spike in terror attacks in Sokoto and Katsina states, President Muhammadu Buhari has dispatched a high-level delegation made up of heads of national intelligence and security services to the two states. According to a statement by the President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, on Friday, Buhari expects the delegation to present an immediate situation report and recommendations on actions to follow to effectively deal with the worrying situation. And also, the Defunct Social Democratic Party, SDP, Professor Yowuse Aga has urged separatist agitators to go about the agitations in a civilized manner to avoid bloodshed. In an interview with Vincent Kalu, the Professor Agia, a former senator who has served twice as minister and twice as ambassador, said that the 3 zones that have produced presidents should wait for the other 3 zones to have president. After that, he noted that the president should be
chosen purely through popular contest, devoid of zoning. Many Nigerians have tried to go back in history to situate Nigerians' problems in the amalgamation of 1914. They say that Nigerians' amalgamation into one country should never be taking place because of our differences. These groups insist that the amalgamation's expiration date is over and is now the time for the dissolution of the Federation. But I say these people are wrong. There is no manual for the formation of nations. Wars, accidents, imperialism, necessity, agreement, arbitrations, and consensus have all given birth to countries. Our nation was born from imperialism and became a British colony after the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. But we shook off the shackles of colonialism and emerged as an independent nation. The whole world still understanding that Nigeria would be a great nation and would wipe away the tears of all black people of the world by building a great democracy and a republic where justice and honor, peace and progress will be showcased. The reasons for the failure to attain greatness are that we have poor leaders and poor followers who have not been able to make nation building their number one priority. Our leaders have continued to wallow in ethnic racism and corruption. Ironically, it was based on Pan-African unity and nationalism, and our founding fathers got independence. But soon after independence, we have systematically destroyed every fabric of nation building through corruption and ethnic racism. The last 6 years have been the very worst in throwing up Nigeria's fault lines. The parties have failed to give leadership, and they lack ideological commitment, purpose, or clarity. The weak institutions of states have been unable to defend democracy, and the Nigerian people have yet not resolved on national greatness. When we decide, nobody can stop us, the professor says. The professor also noted that the Nigerian elite must come together and overcome their apathy and decide to make Nigeria great through comprehensive restructuring of the federation, saying that we need more efficient and leaner federal civil and public service, and that we need the state to be stronger and the federal government to divest itself of its overwhelming control at the center, saying that we must resolve to tackle tribalism with greater intensity that we have fought corruption, saying that the last thing we need to do in addressing our nation's calamity is to recruit into politics and public sphere people with sound character who see wrong as wrong and who are courageous to stand up to forces that seek to destroy Nigeria. Asking about insecurity, saying that we started with Boko Haram and now ISWAP, saying that the United Arab Emirates recently named some Nigerians sponsoring the insurgent group, saying that Nigerians were excited, thinking that those who have contributed to the plunging this country into the crisis that has got millions of dollars and the carnage that followed will be prosecuted. However, the presidency said charging them is not a priority, and the professor was asked about his view on this particular statement, responding that the view is that the government has been living in denial and that Nigeria is first starting from a civil war that religious extremists and ethnic bigotry have foisted over us. The government has invented semantics of deception, which is helping terrorists by packaging them as bandits and even worse, non-state actors. I was walking on eggshells to call the foreign Fulani terrorists arsonists, rapists and land grabbers through genocide as non-state actors.